with people? Have you ever babysitted?
Yes.
Not kids, adults.
Yes.
Have you ever agreed to teach, coach, mentor, or help a friend, a colleague, or someone around you, but at some point you start to notice that, hey, why is all the weight on me? Why is all the pressure on me? And you feel like you're babysitting this big baby, this adult. Today, I want to share my experience, how I suffered from babysitting adults, and what I learned from my first mentor, and how I implemented what I learned to help improve my overall well-being. I used to be this insecure, uncompetitive person. All I wanted to do was to be accepted. And so whenever someone else came and asked for a favor, my default answer was, yes, of course. And when you say yes, of course, a lot in the office, people start to throw a lot of crap, a lot of things they don't want to deal with on your desk, on your table. And I remember for 3 years, in the company I used to work for, I used to work in a beauty company. Every Friday, my colleagues would put all their tasks on me and say, thank you, Alice, you're so nice. Bye, Alice, and they would go on their dates or enjoy their Friday night shebang, whatever it was. And I would say, yeah, but on the inside, I just wanted to left punch, right punch, and sucker punch them. It wasn't until in 2018 when I met my first mentor that everything changed. My first mentor's name is Dan Locke. He's a well-known public figure. He's a copywriter, author, and professional coach, professional mentor that teaches us how to close high-ticket deals. And by high-ticket deals, I mean products, programs, and services that cost $2,500 or more. 2 things I learned from him. The first thing was, when we signed up for his mentorship, there were 3 prerequisites. No victims, no opinions, no excuses. People were asked to have an open mind, to be open to learn. You needed to be coachable. The second thing was, he often said, it's not a matter of resources. It is always a matter of resourcefulness. When people reach out to you to ask you to teach them something or guide them to a resource or just give them something, like a favor, do something, or show them where something is. It's better to teach them how to actually fish than hand them the fish, right? We all know that. But what I did in my previous jobs was I said yes, and I did it for them. I took away their chances of learning, of growing, and now reflecting back on that, I was doing them a huge disfavor, thinking that I was doing them a favor, which is a bit arrogant in a sense. But I also take full responsibility because I was the one who let that happen. I trained people to take me for granted. And after going through this mentorship program, I learned to say no, to set standards for all relationships, not just business-wise, but also in terms of personal relationships. And I learned that it's okay to say no. Sometimes for partnerships, business collaborations, it just means that it's not a good fit. It's not a good or bad, it's just not a good fit. And it is important to set standards. It's important to draw the line, like, these are things I will not tolerate. Remember, my mentor said, no victims. Oftentimes people would reach out to me because my YouTube channel is focused on personal growth, development, how to overcome negative mindset, how to reestablish your belief system. So people reach out when they are in need of help, but oftentimes a lot of people, they reach out asking for you to provide them the solution. To hand them, it could be money, it could be resources. And when you try to help them, at first I would try to guide them to resources, really do things for them. But what I realized was when you do things for people for free, when people don't pay, they do not pay attention. And sometimes when you teach them how to do stuff, you give them the step-by-step. I used to provide detailed step-by-step, even screenshots of how to do things. But I realized that people often take these for granted, and when you ask them, did you implement what I told you? Did you use the resources? Did you watch that tutorial I sent to you for free? It was often no. And that was a huge wake-up call. I knew that I had to change something. So I decided to say, no excuses. If you're not going to implement these things, then there's no point of me spending time and energy to design these courses, these step-by-steps for you. And if you're going to throw me these BS excuses, then you're not ready, and I'm not going to take the chance of you looking for other ways for you to grow. Now is not the time. I'm not the person to solve your problem. It's your time to lead. Saying no is actually doing them a huge favor. And those are the things I learned from my mentor. Now, my implementation is my number one tip I have for you. Help others when you can. Always come from a place of love when you say no. Never carry negative energy. Come from a place of love when you say no, but always draw the line. What you will not tolerate. Never, ever, never, ever, ever babysit people. Thank you.